Steve and I have 5 children, and they were an age where they were independent, and we just felt it was the right time for us to be able to offer fostering, because we just love children, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, our house is always busy. Yeah, I think it got to the stage where the two youngest lads were 11, 12, 13, somewhere around there. So they were, like Amanda said, they were independent. They were the only two ones at home. And we started off with one
Placement.
placement, didn't we? And then
Ended up with 3.
we had to move to go to a bigger house because
Yeah.
and it just went on from there, didn't it?
And then because we had a spare room, we got offered the 3rd. We are going into our 11th year next year, and it's been some challenges throughout doing the fostering, but very rewarding when you see the children leave and how far they can come.
I think we've had about, I was working out the other day, I think we've had about 27, 28.
But some of that is respite. Some of it could be on emergency.
But a lot of them are 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. We've had them, and then they've moved on.
And the young person we got at the moment on just staying put, she's tells everyone she's going to be with us until she's 99. So I don't know what Steve and I are going to look like. And she said when she eventually leaves, she wants a flat up the road so she's still comforty.
Oh, we've had lots. Neglect.
Abuse.
Yeah, abuse, child sexual exploitation.
Mental health.
I mean, before I came into fostering, I thought we all had happy childhoods. It's not until you start fostering you realise that's not the case. We were the lucky ones. And there's so many children out there who have never had a happy childhood like the majority of us, which is a shame.
I also think we were a bit ignorant to how many children are actually in care.
Yeah.
We didn't realise till we became foster carers how many children are actually in the care system.
And how many foster carers short they are nationwide.
Yeah. Well, we had our children at home still, and the children have always been a really good support in what we do. But we try and do things ourselves not to put pressure on our own children, birth children. But they've always been very supportive. They always make them part of the family at Christmas time, birthdays. And I think that's important.
Yeah, they any child that comes into our house is made part of the family. It's as simple as that. If they're not made that, it's going to be a lot harder. They integrate, they mix. It's just like having friends coming round, isn't it?
Our very first placement was offered to us literally on the way back from panel. And we'd called in to have a celebration drink. And jokingly, my phone went and I went, I bet that's Nigel. And it was. It was our social worker at the time offering us a 16-year-old lad. We had him for around about 5 months, was it? Yeah. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. And he was escorted away by the police. But having had him for the first placement actually made other ones feel quite easy.
Yeah, it was a good learning curve.
It was a brilliant learning curve. Family time is where they will have time with their, obviously, parents. It could be parents, auntie, grandparents. Sometimes that could be supervised within a contact centre. It's so that they can monitor the parents are giving the kids information they shouldn't be receiving. It can usually last for about an hour and a half. But we've also done contact with one of our placements where we actually went along with mum to help support mum because she also had a few learning difficulties. And that was really good, wasn't it, to have that relationship. With 2 of our placements, we've been doing contact with grandparents and supporting them, promoting them for one of the placements to go up and live with them. And that's been quite rewarding. And it's quite important that they take on the same rules and boundaries that you have so that it doesn't confuse the children. Yeah, we do. We keep in touch with one of the girls that we had who constantly ran for 11 weeks until she got taken away under a PPO, but she's gone on to have a baby of her own and she's actually moved now. And yeah, it's lovely to see her flourishing as a mum. It's so sweet, isn't it? And we still help support the young person as well,
Yeah, yeah. I
even
mean,
now.
we've gone down there and given her bits and pieces for the baby. I've got a sandpit to take down there sometime when I get round to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had another lad passing one day, and I kept saying to Amanda, I'm sure that's a young lad we had. Anyway, one day he knocked on the door and he came in and he stayed for an hour or so, didn't he?
Yeah, chatting.
Chatting away and went off happily.
Yeah, so yeah, we do keep in touch with quite a few of our children, which is lovely. Steve and I like to do long term fostering because we feel that works for us, doesn't it? And it's lovely to actually see those children move on and how they can flourish over that time. We've also done emergency where you'll get a phone call. They know we got a free bed. Could you take this child or a sibling group, whatever? But also we've also done respite for other carers because respite is important
Very important.
as a carer to have that bit of time to reflect and to rebuild yourself again. So respite is very, very important to foster carers to
Yeah,
have
I mean,
that time.
sometimes when you get let down at the last minute with respite, don't get me wrong, it's unavoidable. The respite carers are ill or anything's happened, and it's awful. It's when you've been looking for that rest for, for 6 weeks, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you just carry on as you do. But yeah, I mean, respite is there might be a child comes to us and we look after the child for the weekend to give the carer a break. It could be they're going away on holiday with their own family. So you might get, especially in the 6 week summer holidays, somebody asks you, can you look after this child for a week? There's all forms of respite, really, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we've over the years that we've been doing the fostering, we've realised how much you need to take that bit of time out for yourself, and so it's quite important that we regularly get respite to, especially having 3 placements. That is a big ask as well. So to find somebody that can actually take them on a regular basis is really good. So we pre-book in weekends so that we know we've got that time should we need it.
I mean, we didn't do respite in the early days for a long time. And I think you get to the stage where you nearly burn yourself out. And I think it is very, very important as carers that you take
That time for
that
yourself.
time. We've dealt with most things. The police, that's usually my job.
Dealing with the police for the first time can be quite daunting because you think, oh my God, what are they going to do? But over the years, it becomes easier to deal with.
It doesn't faze me anymore at all.
No.
You know what to do. You know the routine, EDT, phone the police. Problem is the kids always tend to do it on a Friday when the police are at their busiest. So you're hanging on the phone for, could be an hour. You get the police turn up at 2 o'clock in the morning, knocking on your door,
Searching the house.
searching the house, checking, that they're not in the garage or in the garden but it can't be that bad because we'd have given up. It really can't be that bad. I mean, we had one girl who ran for 11 weeks. 11 weeks solid. No sooner she'd run, they'd bring her back, I'd be on the phone again, she's gone. This went on for 11 weeks. Solid, absolutely solid, wasn't it? But we carried on. Sense
With
of
us,
humour.
sense of humour. Definitely a sense of humour because the kids like that, don't they? They like the banter.
They like banter.
They relax.
They like it light-hearted.
And not too many rules because you wouldn't have rules for your own children. Boundaries.
They thrive on boundaries and routines.
Yeah.
It was some things that these children never had, and you'd think it'd be the complete opposite. They push back against boundaries and routines, when in fact they embrace it.
And be honest.
Yeah, we never lie to them.
No, what you say you're going to do for these children, always make sure you follow it through because they've always been lied to and things like that and let down. So whatever we say, we always follow through. The rewards of doing fostering is to see these children just flourish. At the moment, you know, she's got special needs. She's been doing voluntary work down at a nursing home, working with people with dementia, and to see her become so independent and be like a normal teenager, it's just lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't even, it's not till the placements are gone that you reflect
Yeah.
on how they
How
came into
far
your
they
care
have.
and how much further on they are when they've left, which is nice.
Yeah.
We reflect quite a lot, actually. You know, especially hard times as well. If you're having a hard time and you reflect, you know, where the kids have come from, and you know, it's not easy. You know,
You just have to remind yourself of where they've come from and what their background's been like.
yeah,
And I think that's really important part of fostering. I would say the mental health unit.
yeah, I would say that.
That was a real struggle because it was awful to watch her go through all that. But all you can do is actually try and support them as much as you can.
I mean, we go down there and she used it as an excuse to come out and then do a runner. The self-harming was unbelievable. You know, it was a hard 18 months. Hard 18 months, and
Because we also had 2 other placements
yeah,
as well at the time. But yeah, it was awful to watch her go downhill so much. And there was nothing really we could do to help for her, but other than support her. Yeah, I think we had a placement who was 16, and how she turned her life around was just absolutely amazing. From a girl that was just constantly in her bedroom on all sorts of media, to a point where she could actually choose the night before what media she wanted the next day. We had to have social stories all over the house for her to understand how to go to the toilet because she was very incontinent. So we had social stories of Cinderella because she absolutely idolised Cinderella. So we would have posters everywhere next to the toilet, in the kitchen. But she learned, didn't she, from all this how to actually have self-care. You know, but it was challenging. And when you look back, you think, my God, how did I get through that? But actually you do. And to see her be able to go to the toilet on her own, clean her teeth, because she'd never cleaned her teeth, never been to a dentist. So I found somewhere the dentist would come out to see her, wouldn't get any equipment out, just come, spend 5 minutes there with her, then go. And gradually it built up that I would take her to the dentist, we'd sit in the waiting room, then we'd leave. Then we'd go into the dentist's room. No work was done, and this took, I reckon, nearly a year.
months.
To the point that we actually managed to get her to go to the dentist. Yeah, a lot of patience and a lot of time, but actually it's worth it when you can see them change. And that was just amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To see her turn her life around.
Yeah.
And that was a girl of 16 at the time, and she left us at 19.
19.
Yeah, I think she's been one of our huge successes.
I mean, she was with us for what, 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
I think after about 5 years, we were toying with the idea, do we, don't we, do we, don't we? And then through lockdown, nobody within the IFA, all the placements stayed stable.
Yep.
And then we got a thank you about 6 months after lockdown to say, well done. You know, it's a little bit too late by then. So in the end, it just made up our mind for us. I mean, we came over to Somerset and we've never looked back. I mean, I wish we'd done it from the start all years ago, to be honest.
The support is better. The training is a lot better, we found, haven't we? That, you know, and you get more help with local authority.
And financially, when we were with an IFA, if you wanted 2 weeks off, the 2 weeks' money you got paid for that week would go to the other respite carers. So you'd earn nothing that week. With Somerset, it's not like that. Both parties get paid, which is the way, really, it should be. You shouldn't have to lose out 2 weeks' money because you're taking 2 weeks off.
Well, they gave it to you as holiday pay, but actually it wasn't holiday pay unless you were going to take the child away with you. So financially, you didn't gain anything out of it. So it became that if you didn't take that child, you'd lose the 2 weeks' money altogether. You get help with birthday and Christmas, which we never had with the IFA before.
Mileage.
Mileage, which we never had before. So you're a lot more out of pocket working for an IFA.
It might seem a lot more money, and it does. We didn't look into it too much. When we first went in for an IFA, I mean, we looked at a couple of places, didn't we? And we had this guy come round who was eventually to go on and be our social worker, and he was such a nice guy, and he really is, and he still is now. We still see him now, don't we? He really sold it for us, if you like, because we liked him as a person.
But they changed all that.
It grew and it grew, and when it started off, we knew people in the office by name, and they'd know us, and it just grew and grew and grew, and it became so impersonal. And yeah, we just thought it was time to leave, didn't we?
And not only that, you've got more opportunities of promoting fostering within local authority. Steve and I promote it through Skills to Foster. We also do buddying with other carers, whether they're new. So that is something we really enjoy doing. So, and we love doing all that.
Yeah, I mean, we were asked, I think it was last year, wasn't it, to do. They were going to have an open evening down in Taunton, but I think it got cancelled
No,
at
they
the last
changed
minute.
They changed the
Oh,
time.
they changed the time. That's right, and we couldn't do it because it was right on school time, wasn't it?
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're more than happy to promote Somerset. I mean, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, your chronology. It's like going for a job application. I mean, we're in our 60s, so we got a long way to go back.
You have to go over what schools you attended, what jobs you've had.
No gaps.
No gaps in between. So if you went on and had a child, you'd have to state the reason why you weren't working during that time. It is a big, long process.
Addresses
of where you've lived. It can go on, but once you've done it, it's fine because the rest of it's a lot easier. But it is trying to remember what you did in that year, where you were in that year, even down to relationships with people. You have to state all that in the information.
What month you left that house and started in your next house? It's a lot. It is a lot, but
it's worth it when you finish it.
Yeah, I mean, when we came over, like you said, we had to start it all over again. But at the same time, we were still fostering, whether it was for an IFA or coming to Somerset. So we were already fostering anyway. Do you know what I mean? So it was just a case of hanging out until we switched, which we eventually did.
And the good thing is you always keep the children that are with you. So if you came over from an agency to local authority, you also take those children with you. And that was our main priority in the beginning, that obviously we wanted the children to remain with us.
Yeah, because one of the girls that we had at the time was
a
Dorset child, but we made sure that she would still remain with us, and that she would have done.
Oh gosh. They do background checks on you. Obviously you have to have a DBS. They do safety checks on the house.
All our children were
checked out.
And asked, weren't they?
Yep.
They wanted to be interviewed. Kids had to be interviewed. I can't think what else.
They do. Yeah, they do. Like if you've got pets, they could do a risk assessment on that pet, whether it's a rabbit or whether it's a dog. So they will do risk assessments. If you need kitchen cupboards and things, depending on the age of the child, with locks on the kitchen doors and bathroom doors.
Ponds in the garden.
Yeah, trampolines in the garden. Everything has a risk assessment done on it.
Obviously, this is all about keeping the children safe. So whatever you've got to go through, it is about making sure the children are safe.
It's gas checks within the house, having certificates, smoke alarms, they're all checked, carbon monoxide, all those sort of things are checked on a regular basis. Insurances, making sure that you've got car insurance that says you're a foster carer, because that has to be on the paperwork. So it's all those sort of things that actually, are in your favour. On a regular basis, we have to do reports on the children. And within those reports, you're explaining how the children's week's been, what they've been up to, whether that's activities, rewards that you're giving them. But keep the reports factual rather than, this could have been, or because it has to be factual, especially if you're going through the court proceedings. The courts will read the reports that you're writing. So it's really important that everything you write down is factual and true. So you get a true reflection on it. I tend to do a lot of my stuff myself, i.e. booking the taxis, changing the transport, because I like to know that it's been done and I don't want to rely on somebody else to do that. The more you've been doing it, you realise it's not so much paperwork as working for an IFA. It's a lot less, which is so much better, and I'm pleased about that.
But Amanda will go through business support. She will go direct to. I mean, it's got to be rubber stamped by a social worker anyway. Change of transport or anything. So,
and it also takes the pressure off the social worker because they're obviously very busy as well. So it helps them that if I change the transport, all they got to do is agree it and say, yep.
Well, we have got a supervising social worker, but he doesn't hear from us. He says to us, he comes and does supervision once a month to see, basically write a report on how your month's gone. And he always says to us, I haven't heard from you all month. But I think because we've been doing it so long...
we got support of each other.
Yeah.
We got support of family, friends. We also have support of other foster carers that we regularly meet up with for coffee. Because they understand what you're going through. So it's nice if you want to just whinge about anything. But our children are really good support.
Very good support.
With the fostering, aren't they?
Yeah.
Social workers, children's social workers, they're all good supports, aren't they? And it is important to have that support around you as a foster carer. You know, if you want to let off steam because somebody's really hacked you off, actually, that's okay to do that.
And it's the same as making sure you have a good relationship with the children's schools. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
Very important. It's a two-way street. There are lots of things out there. There are coffee mornings out there. But that's not me and Amanda. It's each to their own. You can have as much of coffee mornings and support days as you want, but it's just not us, is it?
No, and I think also because Steve and I both do it as full time, I think we support each other, so we don't feel we need that outside influence. But however, it is nice to know somebody that does the fostering because, as I said before, you know, you want to moan and groan, they will actually understand what you mean. But yeah, I mean, there's coffee mornings, but although that's all right for some, we like to do the skills to foster, whereas people wouldn't want to do that. Wow, where do we begin on Christmas?
We have 4 trees in our house.
We try and make it as magical as possible for the children. They get Christmas bedding, they get Christmas pajamas. We have 4 trees throughout the house, don't we? Decorations in every room. And we try and make it all magical. We do a little picnic on Christmas Eve where we sit down and just eat picky bits, all in Christmas pajamas. We start watching films. F quite often reflects back and says, you know, you have your tree there, you have that tree there. And she arrived just before Christmas. So having a placement arrived 20 days before, we knew nothing about this girl at all. So we didn't know what to get her. But actually, we made it magical for her.
She loved it.
And she absolutely loved it, yeah. And of course, it's not a very nice time for the children, Christmas, because they often think about their family and that they should be at home with their family. And actually, getting them involved in that build-up helps to take their mind off of it and a little bit more relaxed. We get candy canes for the tree and chocolate decorations. And, yeah, we just make it as magical as possible for them.
I think once I think just go for it. Just you know, it's not something. I don't think. It's always that thing. I wish I'd done it. I wish I'd done it. it's not as big a step as you think it's going to be. Once you take that first step, the amount of support you get, it's in my eyes, it's well worth it. I mean, you know, I don't regret the 11 years that we've been doing it
No.
at all. Not at all.
I think the most scary time is your first time when you first got a placement, and that can be really, really daunting. But actually, you've got to put yourself in that child's shoes. If I was in their position, could I just turn up at somebody's house and walk into a stranger's house? I don't think I could, and I think that's really good that you reflect back to think how that child must be feeling. It's going to be very daunting, whatever age they are, whether they're 3, 6, 10, 12. And just let that child come round in their own time, and they will do eventually.
And we used to give when we used to have a lot of teenage girls, I used to sit them down and give them the birds and the bees talk, which always was fun time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They used to laugh, but it's just light-hearted. It's just about keeping themselves safe, isn't it?
It's a way of life.
Yeah, it's not a job. Fostering is a way of life, a lifestyle choice. It's really not a job. Teenagers. If you have teenagers, they're more independent. So, you know, you can say to the kids, right, they'll go into town. They could be 15, 16 years old. They can go into town on their own, on the bus.
A lot of people think that teenagers are harder than the youngsters, and a lot of people that go into fostering often think, I want a younger age. You actually find out as you're doing the fostering what works for you as a family, and teenagers work for us, because originally you wanted younger children.
Yes, I did. But as we went through skills to fostering, by the time the end of the course, I'd completely done a 180 and wanted older children.
Yeah. And actually do as much training as you can as being a foster carer, because there are so many options you can do out there, which really help with, you know, any situation that you come across. We've had mental health, LGBT, all those sort of things, and it gives you more of an understanding of the situation.
Yeah, it not only helps you, it also helps the child with the training. So, you know, it helps everybody really. So, yeah, do as much as you can. I think the main thing for me, from when we first started fostering to now, is I have never gone to an IFA. In all honesty, in my eyes, somebody making money off of children's social services or children's services, they should all be non-for-profit. So the money's put back into the children or to the carers. I mean, yeah, I think in hindsight, I'd have come straight to the local authority.
Having a supervising social worker is somebody that you can have to fight your corner if there's things that aren't getting done, or if you want things looked into for training, they've got more information to be able to go forward to look for training that you want to do. And it's just really important to have them on board to help you through maybe tough times, which you will go through. But it's just having that support, and our supervising social workers find some respite for one of our children, because we want to have a bit of time out. And that is really important to reflect on as well, is having that time to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the children obviously have their own social workers, and it's imperative that you get on with these social workers. It makes working life so much easier. Don't get me wrong, if somebody's not pulling their weight, Amanda and I, whether it's the police have done something wrong, whether it's our own social worker done something, we will say it. You know, you cannot let it go. You know, you're the children's voice at the end of the day. And if something's not being done that should be done, then you have to stand up and say something. It's as simple as that.
I think we've come to realise, actually doing the fostering, that we are actually getting something right. Having brought up our own 5 children, you know, I think it's a life skill to be able to foster, and we've come to realise how resilient we are.
I mean, Amanda and I are in each other's companies 24/7, so we've got to get on. You know, so if we've been doing it 11 years and we're still together, we're obviously doing something right. I mean, the kids can't play one off against another because we talk regularly. So if they try pulling the wool over your eyes, which does happen, doesn't it? No, Amanda said, no, you're not allowed that. You know, and we do know that. And we try to teach the kids as they get older, especially the teenagers, we do teach them social skills,
Independent
independent
living.
skills, as in using a washing machine, hanging a washing out. They're expected to change their own bedding and keep their rooms tidy when they get to a certain age. It's just to help them when they go on, isn't it?
Cooking and baking and
Cooking.
things.
Yeah. I'd say keeping the kids safe, making them feel as though they
Welcome.
belong. You know, and we do. Like I say, you've got to embrace them into your family. They're not your bed and breakfast. The kids will never thrive being in a placement bed and breakfast. You've got to embrace them into your home. And the children do thrive in that environment because a lot of them have never had that.
And again, as we said before, having banter, lightheartedness with the children, they can accept that more.
Yeah, even if it's something negative, if you make a joke of it, it's a lot easier than pointing and being serious. So a lot of it is done with humour, isn't it?
Yep, definitely. It's rewarding.
I just think we enjoy it. I just think it's like I say, it's a lifestyle choice, and it becomes the norm. And you know, like Amanda said, we got 5 of our own children. All right, they're all grown up, and 4 grandchildren, or 4th one on the way. But it's, and parents, and we're just always busy. So
we enjoy doing what we're doing, and the biggest reward is when you can see the children turn their lives around, and then you know that you've done a good job.